Hey, what's up? Happy Wednesday, Buck fans. Please welcome to another great episode of Bucs Report, the Aftermath. 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. One of your hosts, AJ Turnup. I am so glad you guys are in here. Again, the season is not over. We 24/7 around here. We still got so much to talk about, and we got so many scenarios and that we're going to break down. One of the biggest ones we're going to be discussing is the best case scenarios for the Bucs in the draft and the worst case. Then we're going to be discussing the wide receiver duos and, how the Bucs still need to get that respect. But no further ado, let's bring up Slick, a.k.a. the British guy who's always fly. Come on up in here, Coach Slick. As always, how you doing? And check out that nice flag back there, guys.
We don't have to see what's behind me anymore. We've got this nice little bit of we got this little backdrop here. We're repping, so I'm liking it. It feels a little bit more professional for a change.
Oh, it looks good, man. It looks good. And as always, guys, again, check out Coach Slick, football coach, defensive-minded individual. We still want to get him over here to the Bucs, to the States, so we can get in that intern. So please give Coach Slick an opportunity on YouTube channel on It's About Bucking Time. But as always, guys, let's get to the segment because the Buccaneers knocked it out. They get an A- again for me when it comes to the free agency. This man right here got you covered, big homie. Jason Light and Light We Trust. We got everything. Slick and I, as we always explain to a lot of Buck fans, the free agency was where we needed to make our mark. The draft is cool, but the draft is supposed to be pieces. We're trying to get that more for depth. The free agency is what we need to hit. And the simple fact with Hassan, Godwin, we restructured Tristan Wirfs' contract that gives us an extra $19 million cushion. We're kicking ass. So we're about to get into this draft thing. So did you get your mock draft yet, Slick?
I'm doing one as we speak, so I thought we'd do a little live one. How'd you like that?
My man, I love that. I love it. I want to
ask what and obviously I can only go with what's on the table, right? And obviously every mock draft is slightly different because it's all about like pieces fall where pieces fall, right? So in this one, and this is the crazy thing, I looked at it and they got Shedeur Sanders going 7th to the Jets. Travis Hunter going to the Kitty Cats.
Yes.
I'm surprised he didn't go a little bit higher than that, but hey, that's just me. And apparently, the New York Jets will take a tackle. I mean, that's just insane. That's, in my opinion, that's just outright fucking lunacy.
Well,
you don't have a quarterback, but they don't have a quarterback, but they're gonna go and get. I mean, unless they go because they haven't signed anybody, have they?
I don't think they have, but I think you know how it is. It's media gossip, bullshit talk. The biggest thing is the reality of it. As you said, if you are an organization, Slick, you know this, you cannot worry about what Mel Kiper says. Mel Kiper don't always know what the hell he's talking about. If you're an organization that you need a quarterback, you don't hear what they say.
Oh man, that guy said Ryan Leaf was legit. And
I didn't like his attitude. Fuck the attitude. As long as he's not a distraction in the locker room and not going to fuck up the team, you go get that best available player.
Do you know who else irritates me for that kind of buttoned up bullshit?
What, Colin Cowherd?
Yeah.
Look, his first name speaks
for
itself.
Sanders, he doesn't like Shedeur Sanders because of the way he wears his hat. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
This is the same guy that
you get a guy who can be a legitimate baller, but you want, okay, we'll go and get Percy fucking Tyneck next door who can't fucking throw properly, but he looks good in interviews. Well, I don't give a fuck about no interviews. I want the swag. Do you know what? The NFL's generation's getting younger and younger every year. You're attracting new eyes to the field. Guess those eyes are The eyes already love the game's already there. You're attracting younger, or you're trying to attract that younger audience, so they get into football. They love football. People like Shador are the answer to that fucking question. It's simple. But onto the Bucs.
That's right. Yeah, on to the Bucs, baby, because this is an important situation. The Bucs are the Bucs at this point, because we knocked it out in the free agency so well. Oh yeah, Colin's name is. Oh yeah, we bashing Colin. First of all, side note, his first name speaks volumes. It's ass. Colin. Exactly what it is. Colin, go get it checked, because obviously we know you're full of shit. But anyway, anywho. The Bucs are in a win-win situation due to the fact that we knocked out in free agency, Buck fans. So give yourself a hand for that. We didn't put ourselves in a bad position, because Coach Slick and I have always stated there was never going to be a legit immediate starting pass rush at 19. So now with Hassan Reddick there, we don't have to focus on that. Now we get to the good shits. We get to where we are in a position that Buck fans, listen up. In this early draft, the 3 hot commodities is what Slick said: quarterback, wide receiver, and pass rush. Linebacking is important, but Jahad Campbell, it's a high possibility that he will be a Buck, because there's not that many other teams that need a linebacker like the Bucs do. Now, some people have theorized and said, well, AJ, what about the Falcons? I said, if the Falcons do that shit, they're stupid. The Falcons need a pass rush more than the Bucs, and by far. The Atlanta Falcons pass rush was dead last year. Dead last. Dead fucking
in this little mock draft when they took a safety.
A safety? Maybe, but even then,
I mean, but when you're last in sacks, what's the safety going to do?
Yeah. You know? What is a safety going to do? That? Yeah, that's why I agree. I'm looking up the Atlanta Falcons sacks, because this is how bad they were. I know they were dead last. I just got to make sure I'm correct.
No, they were dead. They were dead last, if I remember correctly.
Yep, they were. Oh yeah, they had. What the fuck? Yeah, this is terrible.
Fucking stank.
Oh yeah, they sacked 31 times. That's it. It's terrible. That's terrible.
So that's like what? Less than 2 a game.
Yeah, that's terrible. So that's why we're saying getting Jahad Campbell for the Falcons, that wouldn't be an ideal situation. You have no pass rush. Hell, if anything, the Falcons, Slick, they might have to think of a scenario where they might have to give up a few rounds to move up or trade up.
Yep.
Maybe in that top 10 to get a legitimate pass rush. So it would behoove for them to move up, because they're not going to get a pass rusher.
The only available they had at the time in this little scenario was James Price Jr., edge out of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. But I think he'll still be gone before 15.
Potentially. I mean, look, it's a load of. Because they took Malachi Starks at 15. They took Starks at 15. And look, it is what it is. The mock draft's never the same.
That's right.
We have all these fucking names in our heads, and then come draft day, especially in the later rounds. Once round 3's gone, we're drafting guys we've never heard of. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that in a nasty way to those players. It's just you can't research everybody. So you go with the flashier names, usually a bigger school, maybe a guy you think, maybe bigger school underlooked. But what you do find is it's probably smaller school, underlooked, and made. And I will say this about Light, and it's not him who does it, but it's obviously his staff that he puts together. They tend to like guys from small schools that have been to one of the NFL LPA bowls or the recent Senior Bowl, and I think there's another one somewhere as well, and perform there. Like, that's how we got Ali Marpet. Ali Marpet was apparently fucking bossing Div 1 D lineman, and we're like, this is a fucking Div 3 guy. Like, he shouldn't be allowed to do this. And that's why he rose from being whatever everyone else had him at into being a second round draft pick. And that's the difference. People might have had him, he might have gone from a 6 to some people and gone into the 4th. The Buccaneers went, you know what? We see even more than that. We went there. So I do think there's going to be a couple of guys like this in this team. And some of them turn into some great players. We've done it many a times. And that's what I'm hoping for.
I agree.
So who are the big 3 names? You said quarterback, linebacker, and
safety.
Safety, sorry. Who are the 3? Number 1 in each category.
When it comes to, well, for me, of course, it's Jihad Campbell, Starks, and pass rush is the guy from, like you said, from Tennessee. I like him. I think he's very good. But I wanted to go into
what about Jalen Walker, linebacker from Georgia? He's still on the board.
Yeah, there's another one besides him, Jay Wiggins, Iowa. I like Jay Wiggins because his pass coverage is impeccable. Now, I understand that his 40 is a 4.82, but it's reasonable and it's serviceable under of Todd Bowles' defense because with the addition of Hassan Reddick, you can make that happen. He can overcompensate because he is good at pass coverage. That would be someone that I would go for if that's why linebacking is beautiful. I'd go for the guy from Georgia if I can't get your.
What do you think Levante David's 40-yard dash was?
I think Levante David's 40-yard dash was like a 4.65 or something.
Boom! Fucking nailed it, brother. And what's this guy we talking about? Dash?
Jay Wiggins. Jay Wiggins ran a 4.82.
Okay.
Now, but if you looked at him in college, Slick, his pass coverage was impeccable because he had vision, and that's what is most important.
You don't need to be. You don't always need to be fast. You need to be quick. It's not about being fast. It's about being quick.
Exactly. We got a guest coming in, and we got dude about to come in and get shit going. Go ahead, dude. You.
All right, enough of that shit. Hey, Jihad Campbell, man. If he falls to 19, you got to pick him up. But real quick, it's the NFL offseason, so we got a lot of draft talk, a lot of free agency talk, mock drafts, draft profiles. Holy shit, everybody's got one, 2.0, 3.0, 8.9, whatever. But tonight, before we get back to the draft talk, we're going to take a little comedic break. We're going to bring in what I call a Buccaneers super fan. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you can find him on social media, specifically on Facebook, where he's a beast. I want to bring on the man, the legend, everybody's favorite Buccaneers comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Anthony Crawford.
Hey, what up?
With you?
Oh, man, chilling, man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Anytime, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to jump in here real quick, Anthony. First of all, thanks for taking the time, bro. I appreciate you. Been a long time, been a minute since you was down in Tampa kicking it with us, going to that nasty ass 420 restaurant. That shit was horrible, bro. But I want to say, we're going to promote what Anthony does. He's a stand-up comedian. I will say he is the stand-up comedian that represents the Buccaneers. Fuck all these celebrities like the Backstreet Boy kid. This is your celebrity Buccaneer fan right here. Anthony Crawford, straight out of Colorado. Anthony, before we get started and hear a little bit what you think about the Bucs did last season and what they're doing in the offseason, let us all know where we can find you. Let us know if we're in the area where we can come see you live. And are you ever getting back to like the Carolina area and doing a show?
Yeah, I go back to NC every year, man. I got to see moms, you know. And but yeah, at Crawford Comedy on all social media, you can find me everywhere. I travel the country all the time, run a bunch of shows here in Denver, The Gong Show is taking over right now in Denver. Colfax Gong Show. I'm basically trying to make comics quit. It's basically what I'm trying to do, and we're giving away prizes while we're doing it. And yeah, man, heckling's not only allowed, it's encouraged at the Gong Show.
And that's the thing. I've seen some of your stuff, man, and of course, you know, I'm a big fan. Been with you for a minute now. God, 10 years on Facebook. Been hanging with Anthony. He used to do a couple live streams for us back in the early days of Bucs Report, coming on, doing a little reaction, dropping some humor for the Buccaneer fans, because back then everything sucked for the Bucs.
It was rough. It was rough, man. That's when you knew who the real Bucs fans were back in the days, back in the Chris Out My Spleen days.
I got you. So Anthony,
they must have given you a lot of material then.
Material and a little bit of a drinking problem. Well, yeah.
We'll attest to that.
Well, just so we got everything clear before we go any farther with Anthony. Anthony, this ain't a Facebook show. This ain't a kids show. We speak the way we speak here. I drop F-bombs. We're uncensored and unafraid. That's all I'm going to say.
Appreciate it.
We see some of these people on social media talk about protecting free speech. Motherfucker, we practice it every goddamn day here. All right? So, with that set up right above you on the screen, you got Anthony Turner, nicknamed AJ Turnup, with It's About Bucking Time. Over here on the upper right-hand corner, that's Steve Probert. He is an American football coach living in the United Kingdom, born and raised. He coaches an American football team over there. We call him Coach Slick because, I mean, look at the fucking guy. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning over there, and he's drinking rum. So he's a real Buck for real now.
Hell yeah, dude.
With that said, Anthony, what do you feel about last year, how that season ended? Tell me your thoughts on that.
I'll be honest with you. I was happy we made it as far as we did. Detroit, man. Detroit. But I ain't gonna front, man. As a Oklahoma Sooner fan, Baker Mayfield is a breath of fresh air to me. And I'm not even gonna bullshit. He's a breath of fresh air to me. I'm so glad we got a QB that is willing to get in somebody's fucking face. You know what I mean? And run somebody over, even though I didn't like him trying it. But he did it a couple times, and
you enjoyed that.
I'm so happy we got Baker and Bucky. Bucky was a breath of fresh air too, man. I like our young running back core. We just got to get some corners, man. Our secondary needs help. That's all I can think of right now. Our secondary needs help. We need some depth on the D line, because man, Vita needs some help. Vita needs some help. You know
Absolutely. Anthony, as far as what they've done so far in the offseason, obviously keeping Chris Godwin here is huge.
Major.
You know, Mike Evans is a Buccaneer for life now.
Yeah.
What's the one person in free agency you wish the Bucs would have gone after?
Be honest with you, there's a man, because I wanted to go with the popular, like the Khalil Max and the Bosas and all that, but part of me feels like they're past their prime a bit, man. So I kind of wish we would have got a O lineman, maybe Mekhi Becton or something like that, you know, or nah, they kicked out too much for Tunsil, but I kind of wish we'd got a O-line protect Baker a little bit if we can't grab somebody in the secondary. I saw we grabbed some safety, but I don't really know much about them.
Yeah, it's been right now. We looking at as far as free agency, the Buccaneers, as their history's been lately, our free agency signings, the big ones, is keeping our people here. We all about that homegrown talent. Not to mention homegrown other stuff, but that's a whole nother show, a whole nother time.
In Denver, baby, you already know how I feel about that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Hey, man, we smoke friendly, we drink friendly here. Now, that said, AJ, I know you've been on AJ be on Twitter all day, just burying motherfuckers on Twitter and TikTok. AJ, dare I say, has a couple Cialis pills ready for them Atlanta Falcon fans. So you got a hard on for those people, and that ain't hard to do. And I'm gonna put you on the spot here, not this second, Anthony, but before you get off, we want to see if you got any kind of good, relevant NFL or Buccaneer joke you can drop before you get off. So keep that in the back of your mind. I know you got something.
Yeah.
But Slick and AJ, any questions, anything you want to talk to Anthony about it? And like I said, I'm going to send you all the links to some of his content. I'll put in the comment section of the show when it's over. But this is comedy that ain't Netflix comedy. You understand what I'm saying? This ain't some dude taking his shirt off, rubbing his belly, and thinking he's funny. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm going to turn it back to AJ, Slick, and Anthony. Let's see you guys chop it up a little bit. And I'm going to be sitting right here ready to play my music because I'm a narcissistic motherfucker.
Respect.
No problem. Nah, I got a question, man. Name what coach that you had the most jokes for, that you just, if you saw them in person, you would want to just straight up roast them because of the shit that they do on the field.
Oh my God, a Buccaneer coach or just any coach?
Buccaneer.
I think we're gonna give one of each. Yeah.
Oh man,
There's some fucking clowns in the NFL.
There are, dude. There's a bunch of them, man. Oh, dude. All right. So as far as Buccaneers go, I ain't gonna lie. I would like Gruden up. I would like Gruden up. Appreciate that Super Bowl, but I couldn't stand that dude. Couldn't stand that motherfucker. I would light his ass up. As far as the rest of the league, man, what's my God damn, what's that dude's name? He used to wear a pencil in his ear all the damn time. Patricia, Matt Patricia.
Yep,
Matt Patricia. Yeah,
I'd roast that goofy looking bastard up. But,
I mean, without going to like the cliche players of like your ABs who you could roast any day of the week because they are a walking caricature. They are everything that you'd want in from comedic value you could get at. Who are the ones that you enjoy to roast because they kind of tax you? They make you right. They make you really think. Because everyone can be roasted, right? But there is some way you really have to put the pencil down.
It's the ones that are loved, the ones that are super loved by people, like
JJ Watt.
Yeah, it'd be one of them, Christian McCaffrey or fuck that guy, by the way. Christian McCaffrey, Tebow, you know what I mean? Because you can't just go at them the way you want to. You gotta tiptoe around people's feelings and shit.
Wait,
He's a good Christian boy. Fuck that dude. He can't.
Hey, do you got a Aaron Rodgers joke in the chamber?
Woo!
Man, I did, but it quit working just like he did.
Oh,
man, dude, it was strong for like 2 minutes, and then it just stopped. I had to put it down for the rest of the
year. God,
I mean, shit. Aaron Rodgers is a joke himself, so yeah, not too much to work on.
Favorite organization to roast?
Oh, dude, the roast to Aaron Rodgers would just be cruel. It would be cruel. It'd be cruel. If you thought Tom Brady's was bad, Aaron Rodgers would get everybody coming after that motherfucker. It'd be Flavor Flav level roasting.
Is that the guy? If you wanted to do an NFL roast and you could pick one guy that you would love to see a roast of, like we got the Tom Brady one. Is Aaron Rodgers that guy, or do you think there's someone better you could pick?
If I could just choose anybody, it'd be Belichick. He's prime right now with his little kid girlfriend. Yeah, dude, I'd get all on that motherfucker.
You're still riding ponies. and riding some else. Daddy doesn't need to know.
Would you love to
She was
troll,
like 3 when he won his first Super Bowl.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The hoodie's over there in your neck of the woods now in Chapel Hill, man.
Yeah.
That don't matter, huh?
I could give a
Coming to
fuck
a
less.
Maybe that was the advertisement. Coming to a kindergarten near you, Bill Belichick.
Hope he can get his girlfriend a scholarship.
Would you ever try to troll Michael Parsons?
That
From
shit
a
writes
distance?
itself.
He said from a distance.
These NFL players are still built different. Like you saw, fuck Cam Newton too, but he was tossing grown ass men like it was nothing at that cookout.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's Cam. Michael Parsons puts people like Cam down for a living. So nah, I'll do that from a distance. On a megaphone. I'll do it on a megaphone. He gotta be across the lake or something.
All right, you gotta do me a favor. If you ever hear Colin Cowherd talk, you gotta roast him. Just tell him to shut the hell up. Look,
Gotcha.
the name itself is already is Colin.
Colin Cowherd.
Come on.
Already full of shit.
I don't think nobody watches Fox Sports 1. I don't think nobody watches Fox Sports 1 anymore anyway.
Exactly.
I forgot it was a thing.
People just watching for John Taylor. He's now off the air, so. But don't talk about Dick because he'll have to tell you how he has to stop himself from raping women.
Oh.
Oh, you've seen the video, right? I was like, I'm there like, is he really saying what he's saying? I'm like, fucking no, this guy's literally saying, I could be a convicted rapist, but I sit on my hands.
I mean, at least he knows himself.
At least he knows himself.
Damn.
He walking down the corridor like this when she's walking.
Nah, it's too many people. I would love the rose. Would
you got the blinkers on?
What would you do if you have you ever encountered like someone on like one of those players or anybody that tries to like go at you joke for joke?
Yeah, I've had some. I've had a couple actually. The biggest one was Steve Smith. When he played for the Panthers, he came to a show at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte. And he heckled, and so he heckled when I said I was a Buccaneers fan, and yeah, it was the wrong time for that. It was the wrong time for that.
What did you say to him?
Oh, I told him enjoy his time at the Panthers. I said something like enjoy your time at the Panthers. I hope you get a ring somewhere, but it won't be here, or something like that, or something. And I was right. But
he ain't got one.
But yeah, I said something about he wasn't gonna get a ring there. And the one that I thought, but he laughed it off. He was actually pretty cool about it. The one that got real mad at me was Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis got mad at me. I thought he was gonna come to the ring, like we wrestling and shit. I thought he was gonna come to the stage and shit, but his hip was bad or something. He was limping.
What you say? He got a neck like a horse or something? That he looked like the Bronco he used to play for or something?
Dude, I can tell you that. He's ignorant big. He was in playing shape. You know what I mean? Like that boy was damn that. I ain't want him chasing me either.
Hey, look, he too busy trying to escape charges. You'll be all right.
Absolutely. Hey, Anthony, man, we appreciate you taking the time, and I know you got a multitude of things you got to do. So if you got that Buccaneer joke, lay that shit on us. If you don't, go right to promoting where we can find you, where your next gig is. And as far as the Gong Show, is there a YouTube channel or anything like that? You got a YouTube channel, or is it all on Facebook and other places?
We're in the process of getting the live stream down. We'll start live streaming every week. But yeah, y'all had to keep in tune with me and find that link and stuff. We haven't got it all set up yet.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna have you back as often as you want to come, because like I said, we get serious on here. We do joke a lot, but it's good to have somebody that actually does comedy instead of us hacks over here just trying to pull it off, telling dad jokes all day. You feel me? So
I feel you.
again, Anthony, we thank you so much for taking the time, man. Like you told everybody earlier, you can find him on social media at Anthony Crawford.
Crawford Comedy. At Crawford Comedy.
Sorry, at Crawford Comedy. I will put that in the comment section. Get that going. Anthony, as always, man, we appreciate you taking the time. We appreciate your perspective. And by all means, if you end up trolling another NFL player or get him heckling you, send me that video. We're going to put that shit out there because some of these guys need to sit the fuck down and and just shut up. I hate saying it because I don't want to sound like that guy, but play football, talk later, bro.
I can't wait to see Bo Nix at a damn show. I'm gonna light his ass up. Non-throwing motherfucker. But if you ever want to troll, a Panther or a Falcon, tell them you set your phone to their team every time you want to go to sleep. Put it on no ring.
All right, Anthony, we appreciate that, man. Again, at Crawford Comedy, all over social media. Check him out. Follow him, like, subscribe. Don't be a bitch. Do the right thing. Support the people who are out here grinding. Anthony, it's always a pleasure. We'll get back with you. I'll reach out to you again. Thank you for taking the time, man. Send our love to everybody up there in Colorado. And go Bucs, bro.
Fuck yeah, fire the cannons, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yes, sir. Look. I would love for him to troll Coach Bowles where he can go. Yeah, that Anthony guy, he really thinks he's funny.
I think that's a segment for you. You should have him. People I think what we need to do is get you and just like random people giving, like us giving you random questions, and you just answer it the best way you can.
No, I can't do that. Why didn't you brush the passer? Well, we had someone else in there, and I had another plan designed. But that doesn't work. Why do you keep doing that, Coach? Well, practice makes perfect. So we're going to make it. We're going to keep doing it.
Coach, it seems like Jamal Dean is injured at the moment. And why are you putting him back in the game?
Well, you know, I like the fighting spirit of my guys, and I believe in them. So I think he said he was ready to go. So
I really like Jimmy Dean sausage.
Jimmy Dean sausage.
Facts.
I'm gonna
let me get on to this shit. This is the scenario time, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, hold up, because I gotta jump in like 2 minutes, so I want to drop a few things. Even though Anthony didn't have any joke for Aaron Rodgers, I made a website for Aaron Rodgers. The problem is it ain't got no homepage. No, you didn't like that one? Well, give me 1 more minute and I'll leave you guys to it. But first, I got to take a couple shots at everything going on over here in America. But second, I got to understand. I got to ask a question to Slick. Why can't the United States and the United Kingdom play chess? Because they're missing a queen and 2 towers.
I love that.
Damn.
That's fucking brilliant.
All right, 2 more and then I'm out. 2 more. Why do Americans fish with a gun?
Why?
So they can get the whole school. No? All right. And this one will probably embarrass your family members, but that's okay. Why are Americans so good at playing Rubik's Cube? America has a history of separating colors.
Oh shit!
And after all the shit that just happened today, that's not even that's.
What's happening now? I don't know
So,
what's going on in the wood. I've been fucking making prawn fucking.
They basically deregulated like a segregation law now where they can actually just have segregation now. If they can have separate restaurants and bathrooms and shit like that, because it used to be used to be a federal law, but now he's knocked that shit out. So yeah.
And that's the thing, man. What's going on over here? This is why we got football. This is why we got football talk. Because if we just paid attention to the news feed and all the bullshit in it, all three of us would be on here ready to fucking hang ourselves or get on top of a tall building with a rifle, right? So before I jump off, I want to say I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing, except if you're at a funeral.
Ooh, oh shit. As always, dude ain't scared to be rude. He's a very outspoken individual. But let's get to the best case scenarios, Slick, for this draft, because, like I said, it is something that got to bring this man back up again. This is our G. This is what we call the general father, not the general manager, the general father. I can see him making a gangster move. I was going to make you use an offer you can't refuse. I can see him going, this is what he's going to do. I can see him saying, you know what? After we get Jahad Campbell, he finds a way to get us back into the draft where we can make maybe like the 23rd, 24th, or 25th pick. And we give up a second round for next year, maybe Rashad White. And then just to sprinkle it, just to secure the fucking deal, we add Trey Palmer to the mix. And then we pick up Malachi Starks. Those two pieces right there, Slick, if we get that, Bucs are winning the Super Bowl. Why?
Wow.
Because with Jahad Campbell, and this is why. This makes it perfect. Slick, you don't have to start Jahad Campbell immediately. You don't have to thrust him in there, make him earn it and work his way up, because Savassier has to prove himself. He has experience. If he can stay healthy, imagine that kind of rotation. Levante, Savassier, Jahad Campbell, and someone else. And then you got the edge rushers. Now you don't have to really worry about that. And then, good God, Starks with Antoine Winfield. And then the Starks and Tyke, they got chemistry because they played together. So just those two pieces right there make immediate impacts. Just those two. And it's not far-fetched, ladies and gentlemen. I know people are saying, AJ, that's a very strong. Wait a minute now. We just said in this earlier draft, a lot of teams need quarterbacks, pass rushers, and wide receivers. So linebacker, Starks may a safety. There's a team out there that might need him, but not as soon as. I think no sooner than 20, because everybody else needs other things. Safety right now is not a priority for the earlier teams in the draft slate. So that is not far-fetched. Now, you said before, if we could give a fourth away to get back up in the first round, then Jason Light's the fucking man. Do you think that could happen, Slick, that some team would be that desperate where they say, hey, we'll give you our fourth to get back up in the first? I wouldn't. Do you think that could be a possibility?
Give me the scenario again, because I need to get this. What are we doing?
So the Bucs have the 9th pick. We know that Malachi Starks, the safety, I don't think he'll be there in the mid-second round. He's either a late first round or early second round. So I think that the Bucs, in order to secure themselves, get out there and try to get both of those guys and get them early. Now, I'd be willing. Would you be willing, if we can move up into the first round again, would you be willing to give up a second and a fourth?
A second and a fourth.
This year's second and fourth.
And if it guarantees the guy that we want, then if it guarantees the guy that we want, then we do it. We know, right? So here's the thing: if you're not going to go pass rusher first round, you're gonna draft a guy that's 100% a developer, right? Even first rounds develop to a degree, but you're definitely. So once you've done that, it doesn't matter. So go and get the guys that can start on your team either immediately or can have a more immediate impact, because they're the most important pieces, right? There's no point in drafting for a guy who's playing for next year, who's playing more snaps next year than contribute, and his contribution to the team is very little in his first year. You can't use your first 2 picks on those guys. They have to be guys that are going to instantly going to impact the team straight away, as in, holy shit, we got this dude and we got this dude and we're ready to roll. I would say Jair Campbell could probably start straight away because I think he'll blow the water out of everyone. That just straight up, I haven't seen enough of Sebastian Dennis to say that he could hold down a job because I don't think he's ever held down the job longer than 10 minutes. And that's not being mean. It's a straight up fact. It's not going to be mean. I want I always say this. I never want to get us to get rid of players. I always want them to beat their potential and be either be what we expected or more than we expected. But at this point, if I'm drafting a linebacker, I want him to win. You know, what's the point in drafting Jair Campbell and then Sebastian Dennis goes off? I'm like, now I'm stuck with a fucking linebacker I don't need. So at this point, as soon as I'm drafting Jair Campbell, I want him to succeed more than Sebastian Dennis. And Sebastian Dennis becomes a role player or maybe somebody that goes next to Jair next year.
I like that. Yes. And for Levante to mentor Jair Campbell, what better person to learn from than that guy, where he takes the role from him. And I agree with you. That could be something good. But I also getting Jihad is a priority, but I want starts as well because now it's solid. Those two, you know what they bring to Bowles, I think, Slick, comfortability to be aggressive. Remember, we're trying to give Bowles the benefit of the doubt that, hey, you didn't have a pass rush last year, so maybe
and we were still pretty deep in sacks. Sacks wise, we weren't too bad. I think we were above average, which just goes to show that how good he is at understanding what his success with the blitz, right? So if you can give him the horses, theoretically, he should be even better, right? That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
To me, I'm looking at him going, what more can I get out of him? Because if this guy's now got all the horses, I don't want to hear no excuse. Excuses 100%. Are gone, and that's what we want to do. I want to put him in. You're putting him in the best chance of success, but you're also putting him in the best chance of no excuses. There's no reason you can't turn around and say, "I didn't have the horses." Well, you had the horses.
I agree.
You chose these guys.
And that's why I am gung ho on this shit about getting the safety.
Then I would do what you said, because those two guys, if you believe that they're going to impact the team immediately at safety and at linebacker, then you do it instantly. You do it straight away. If you're drafting a guy just to be a development guy, then you probably should be picking somebody else in the second round. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. And that's just me personally.
You know who else I think would be? No, I agree. Now, for the third round, let's say if Starks is gone, and
I'm getting Starks gone more than I'm getting Jair Campbell in this little mock draft. I've reset it like 4 or 5 times, and he comes off the ball quicker. So it might be easier to do the other way.
So what if we get Starks at 19 and we are able to get Jair Campbell at like 23?
I think that's more of a possibility and I'm only going off this because every time I've gone, we've either drafted Starks, or because he was on the table there and then, or he's already gone before we got there. He went at 10. It's mad, man. But it's mock draft, so this shit means nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a tall order because I think safety is a priority, but not to that extent because there's too many teams that need a wide receiver, pass rushing, and then quarterbacks.
The one before that they took Genty. You know what I mean? It depends on what comes off the board because the board changes all the time. Everyone has like a top 3 guy, right? That they want, that they think is going to be that dude. So in this one we just picked, I'm just going auto draft at the moment. Jahid Baron, cornerback out of Texas, and that's completely different to what we expect. I don't hate the pick. Like if that happened live, I wouldn't hate it. I'd be like, oh, okay, because Jair Campbell was still on the board.
Yeah,
but stop.
I agree with that. Now, second or third round, if one of those starts and them don't work out, I want to get for a cornerback. Speaking of cornerback, I want to get one of your favorite alumni players, Zari Thomas from Florida State. Now, I know JT said he doesn't know if he'll fit, but that's the kind of guy that brings the aggression that he will be a developer. Like you said, he doesn't have to be an immediate starter, but that's a guy that you can bring in to develop and also be a good depth player. He will get better. 4-5 flat, but he's very strong at man press coverage. And Bowles needs that kind of corner. He cannot afford, and mind you, Bowles loves his tall corners. He's 6'2".
Yep. I mean,
6'2".
I agree, because I think part of the reason the coverages that we ran, I think, is a lack of faith. You have to understand, and people don't automatically realize this. We called that bullshitty coverage, and I believe it's because he didn't feel that the other corner, because I think he ran it more when he had Dean, but Dean was in and out of injury. And I never want to get on somebody, because when you're going in and out of injury, not everyone performs well when they're just coming back from injury. Some people take a little bit longer, but they're fighting through and they're the better player, so they're going to show up for their team, right? But they're not as good, but they're still just better than the guy below them. Do you know what I mean? So I think by bringing in someone at the whether it be corner, a corner be a good one. I just hope that we get a clean bill of health more than anything. I'm not too worried about the safety position as much as I am corner, but I'd be happy with either. But I know we're not going to draft. I also know that we're not going to draft a high end, knock it, blow the barn doors off edge rusher. We're just not. It's not gonna. It's not going to happen. So our best bet is to shore up what we can, and I think you could go quite easily in the first round. You can go and get your Jai Campbell. I think in the second round you could go and get yourself a corner or a safety, and in the third round you can either go whichever corner or the safety that you didn't get. You know what I mean? So you end up going linebacker, corner, safety, linebacker, safety, corner, whichever shakes out better for you. And I think that works for the team, because we kind of, with Hassan Riddick, we have kind of left the door open. We don't have to get one immediately, because I generally believe that guy's got some juice left in the tank.
I think he has more than enough juice left. People are acting like he's 33, going on 34. He's literally 30, about to be 31. Hell, for all we know, Slick, he might have 2 prime years left. And those 2 prime years, what better time to be on a Bucs squad with Vita Vea, Canty. And again, hot take, Canty is going to have 12 plus sacks. Slick, mark my words. Mark my words. Canty is going to be a baller. And I think we've said this already. If Hassan can give us between 8 to 10 sacks, Bucs are in the NFC Championship. 8 to 10. You get us 8 to 10. See, a lot of people think that Hassan needs to go to 15 to 17 sacks. That's not what we need.
You get the double figures, and then on the other side, you get like a rotational piece of Nelson and Yaya, and they get about 8 apiece. You're done. That's all you need. Vita Vea gets 6. You get Vita Vea gets 6 plus. Then because that's where he kind of fits round. I had a massive argument with someone the other day when they were like, "Oh, we need." It's really bad that the Buccaneers don't have anybody on the D line, and I believe it was about Cansey, that he doesn't have double digit sacks, and I'm like, that's not his job. And they're like, how do you know? And I'm like, because they run a 3-4. 3-4 defensive linemen don't get double digit sacks. And he's like, you're making excuses. I was like, go look it up. Last year, only one defensive end in a 3-4 scheme got 10 sacks. Everyone else was underneath. Under it.
Hayward?
I can't remember who it was at the top of my head.
But that's
it's not the bread and butter of that defense. No. You leave that to the edges. The edges are the guys who do that.
Slick. That person, whoever told you that, they didn't know what the hell they're talking about. Everybody.
I know that, but trying to explain to people, he's like, it sounds like you're making excuses. I'm like, I'm not making excuses, because he was like, but the primary. And I'm like, dude, there's levels to this. There's way more to this than you're thinking. Do you know why? And this is why I would consider him one of the greatest defensive linemen of all time. Aaron Donald was great because he was a 3-4 end and got double-digit sacks. Because he played like a DT, but he could play on the end if he needed to, and they used him everywhere. But part of the reason why they had success is because he got success was because they played him at end.
That's right.
He was too damn big to put at end. But he was just a specimen, absolute fucking specimen of a human being.
And they also aligned him with other players on that defensive line. People forget he had Ndamukong Suh, Robert Quinn. He had pieces. That's the beauty of it. But like you said, people who don't know what a 3-4, I'm like, the edge rushers are your linebackers on the outside. That's the bread and butter. You don't believe me? That's why the Von Millers of the world are going to be recognized, because they were the ones that went after them. See, people, I think sometimes, Slick, people don't understand there's a different system scheme between a 3-4 and a 4-3. In a 4-3, yes, your defensive ends are supposed to go off. Your Simeon Rices of the world, your Michael Strahans, but 3-4, everybody knows notoriously, nose tackle, your assignments get to beat the fuck up. You are the plug. You are to plug shit up. But back to the Bucs, Hassan Reddick, like you said, like I was saying, he doesn't need to be super great. He just needs to be good. And Yaya is going to be good. And here's another player that I think, Slick, is going to shock people in our rotation that's going to make some surprises. Chris Broswell. I haven't given up on that guy yet.
Yeah,
imagine imagine this now, Slick, with Hassan Reddick at the helm. And if he does well, maybe Bowles says, all right, because Hassan is doing good and we want to keep him fresh, Broswell, get out there and make something. Broswell can actually Broswell has to get off. He just has to get the angles right. Once he gets that right, look, you cannot draft, you can never draft too many edges. But back to this, if we can't get this point, if we can't get Azeri, have you ever heard of Darian Porter from Iowa State?
Yep.
6'3", 4'3" flat. You talking about, now I could see him being a 3rd round pick, or he could possibly, Slick, be 2nd round. Only reason I say that is being 6'3", running a 4'3" flat. There are going to be some teams out there that want that guy. So if you had, in your honest opinion, put away your school, your alma mater, if you could choose between Darian Porter or Azaria Thomas, which one would you take that you think that would have a better, more of an immediate impact for the Bucs?
I think when you're looking at defensive backs, especially at corner, you're kind of looking at what they can, what their skill set. I would probably pick the guy who can do more. So you might have one guy who's a great lockdown press corner, but he can't do anything else. But if the other guy can play press corner at a decent level, which you can coach up, you can still coach at the zone side, but can play zone at a really adequate level, at a really good level too, you go for that guy. It's almost like, imagine being BB in 2 categories, but one's A and a D.
Right.
I would go with the guy who's got more balanced. I love that. Me personally, I love balance. In my schemes that I've always ran, I like balance. I don't like being heavy to one side. Now, I get why you have to do it now and again, but at the same time, like overload blitzes or adding the extra defender on the one side because the field's larger on the other side because you're on the other hash. I get all that. But for me, I love a mirror. I want to see a reflection. I want to see balance. So I would pick the guy who's probably the most balanced player.
I like that, man. And
you can get more out of a balanced player than a guy who's a one-trick pony. I'm not saying anyone's a one-trick pony because everyone can be developed. But if someone's going into it and they give you a B+ in press coverage and they give you a B+, let's just straight up B in press man and a B in zone, B in tackling, and the other guys an A in a C in A in press man, press a man. A C and a B in tackle. I'm going to go with the guy's constant B. There's less I need to work with because he can do more, and that will get him into the starting lineup quicker. Because if you got a guy who can only press man, when you need to do zone, he's out of the lineup. You're gonna have to put somebody else in.
Right.
It gives you these options.
Oh, that's a great assessment, Slick. Okay, and since we were talking about that Jason Light, my man right here, knows how to find them diamonds in the rough. We gonna show him one more time. We know you know how to do it, big dog, big homie. So I got a player from Jackson State University. His name is Philip Webb, a very good run stopper as well, and he's good at the pass rush. Now his tackling can get better. It needs to be better, but 6'5", 266. But you already know. Here's the good thing: Bowles loves to stop the run first. A guy in that rotation, now you cannot necessarily try to run the ball when he gets in, and also Bowles knows how to perfect these techniques in pass rushing. Now you don't know what to expect of him. So now offensive opponents, they got to go, oh shit, we really don't know what to expect out of this guy. And he would be a good rotational piece. I see him as a 6. You could get him in the 6th or 7th round. He's not going to go any higher than that, in my opinion. So Jackson State players, they are hungry. They like to play because, this is their moment. And we know Jason Light, he knows how to bring the best out of those people. You talked about Ali Marpet. Look at Cody Mox of the world. Look at Izzians. He knows what to do with guys who, like you said, it's college football, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to know every player. That's damn near impossible to watch.
Every year I get into the draft and the Buccaneers start picking guys I've never heard of. Because I can't research everyone, right? And then when we do this, I can guarantee you've done this, and I've definitely done it. You hear that name, and it'll be, I'm going to just make up a name off the Trayvon Deswa. You will go and look him up, and you'll see his highlights, and you'll be like, yeah, we picked all right. I'm happy with that. And then you'll hear the synopsis of the pick. So all the people who talk about it. If you hear good things, you're already psyched about it because you've kind of been put at ease by the NFL media world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because unless you've really reached for someone, for the most part, if you pick in the ballpark of way that you're expected to, you're usually praised for it. Every now and again, someone will pick a player that everyone thinks is a day 3 guy, and they pick him in day 2, and they'll go, oh, okay, I get it. They picked him because of scheme and blah, 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 blah. But, at this point, and especially when you go into day 3, it is a little bit more of a yard sale. Yes. In the sense of no one can really quantify because these guys are so untapped in potential at this point. You're drafting guys purely off potential. You're not drafting on, they're going to hit our team. Unless it's a fullback, a punter, or a kicker, they will have immediate impact because they will. For the most part, these guys will be guys who will be special teams. They will be potentially heavy in the rotation. And the further you go down the draft, the less and less they'll have a part of the team. And eventually, there'll be an undrafted dude that'll beat out the 6th round draft pick. There'll be an undrafted dude that's better than potentially your 3rd round draft pick. It just happens.
Right.
Because of coach.
Yep. And that's what we are looking at because Jason Light and his team sees a lot more than the Bucs. They interview them and they could fit with our scheme. So this is why Buck fans rejoice because we just gave you scenarios that the Bucs, because of the free agency, they don't have to struggle as much. That is one thing, Slick, that I'm going to bring into this next topic that I was telling people. If you go out there and you spend unnecessary money in free agency, now you have put yourself in a position where if you have your first 4 picks in your draft got to be fucking knockouts. Now, Slick, you know this because you've coached before and I've done it. It's very hard to have 4 straight knockouts. I don't even know if there's a team that's ever had that where they're all just immediate knockouts. And like from round 1 to round 5 or some shit. This going into this, Slick, because this conversation still pisses me off because they're going to put some respect on this Bucs team and we going to make them with the fucking stats and the truth. Now, this is pissing me off. I want to talk about these guys right now. I'm sorry, Slick. I'm not giving T. Higgins $115 million. I'll be damned. Now, mind you, Bengals fans. Now, Slick, we already know their defense is a shit show outside of Hendrickson. But you want to know something else that a lot of people are forgetting about the Bengals, Coach Slick? They don't. Their offensive line is shaky.
Well,
yeah. So now, Slick, you're a GM now, right?
Did they get rid of somebody that they got off us?
Yeah, Alex Kappa. And he didn't play up to par. So now think about this, Slick. Think of the pressure for the GM. Now,
do you remember? I want to take you back just quickly about Alex Kappa, because I'm 100% sure how you're going to answer this question. When he was up for being a free agent, did you want him? Honestly.
I wanted him just for continuity on the offensive line, but I wasn't willing to give up hundreds of millions.
He was mess, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was just okay.
Because
he never at any point in time made you go, "This is that fucking dude." Like you see with Cody Mock. Cody Mock.
Yeah.
I saw his tape and was like, "This guy's nasty." If you watch Alex Kappa's tape from school, he's fucking nasty. He never truly brought that to the Bucs, and that might be because he just couldn't, because the talent level he's up against is much higher than he was. If he would have been because he was Division 2, had he gone Power 5, he might have done it occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, against a weaker offensive lineman. But I think, and that's what I'm trying to say. They took a player that had come off winning a Super Bowl, and they're like, "Yeah, we got this fucking Super Bowl winning guard," and it didn't pan out. And every time I saw him fail, I was like, "That sucks," because I like the guy. I always want our players, even if they go away, I want them to succeed, unless it's been bitter. When it's bitter, it's a bit different. Mm-hmm. When it's a mutual party, like he wanted to get paid, fair enough. Like, I have no problem with that kind of stuff. So you kind of like, I'm rooting for you. Just, I hope you suck when you play us, or I hope you and I hope that you beat our opponent, anyone that we play, because it.
That's right. And Kappa just wasn't that individual. You're right, though. I mean, he just wasn't, and this is why. Sometimes, and for a guy like Jason Light, he's an offensive minded. He played offensive line, so he probably saw stuff that we knew, like, that your average football person doesn't truly understand. Like, I know you guys think
I know nothing about the line. I'll be brutally fucking honest, stay away from that shit as much as possible.
Oh, me too, man. Look, I
know enough to get by, but I don't think I could coach D-line, because I think you kind of have to live it. You've got to be you got to be a headbanger before you can fucking really understand.
Look, I can get you a running back, wide receivers. I feel you. Running back, wide receivers. That's my motto. But everything else, I feel you on that. But that's my point. And Slick, this is why I'm sitting here at the Bengals. You got a lot to work on. Your line, because Joe Burrow, he got to stay healthy. Because I don't hear any more excuses.
He ain't gonna help you get his ass fucking whooped. That Macaulay Culkin bitch is going to get everyone's going to have his jewelry. He can get robbed every day.
And mind you, you're in the AFC fucking North. That is the most physical division.
The bulliest.
You don't think J.J. Watt's going to get his chops? Exactly.
J.J. Watt, fucking Myles Garrett. Damn.
And Hendrickson.
Yep.
Now, if I'm Hendrickson, though, I'm pissed. I'm like, hey, you motherfuckers better come out the pocket and pay me, because I can't continue to keep doing this by myself. And that's why I told Bengals fans, Slick, I said, y'all realize y'all first 4 picks you got to knock it out of the park. Oh no, we got this free agency. What do you mean free agency, sir? All the good players, they're gone. What are you talking about? Oh well, then we'll work on the draft. Okay. You need another defensive end to help Hendrickson. Oh, we can take care of that. It doesn't work that way. Oh, well, we need linebackers. Okay, they still got to develop. The Bucs will have Jihad Campbell by then. If anything, it's not far-fetched, Slick. They might need to draft the O-lineman in the first round. So again, there's too many variables, and I like Higgins, but he is not.
Teams that draft offensive linemen when they've got line problems, and the Buccaneers can attest to this. We did this ourselves. It does help massively. Throwing skill at a position at an offense doesn't necessarily translate to wins. It just means you're uniquely skilled and you'll make splash plays occasionally. But if you can shore up the line, those splash plays can happen more consistently, or you can get more consistent play out of your quarterback. The problem is if he's going to spend more time looking at the fucking sky than looking at downfield, you ain't winning shit. And they saw that. God, if I was them, I would probably look. Where do they pick? Because they got to be quite low down, right?
I think they're like 12 or some shit.
If I was them, unless there's nobody there that they want, I would trade the fuck out of that spot, regain another pick in the second, and that way I can pick two offensive linemen in the second, or mortgage a pick and go and get two, like a guard and a tackle.
Oh shit! No, Slick. They're at 17. They're 17. So, they're 17. That's like you said.
It works with worse. All I'm saying.
This is true. This is true.
Sometimes you just got to get the guy.
But now that, like you just said, though, even if let's say if they get a lineman in the first round, Slick, and it does pan out, and he can be average throughout the season. You know what? Now you're asking your offense to put up 40 points a game. And that's
sure. And this is the pill they got to swallow. They're surrounded by skill, but their trench play is fucking awful.
And God forbid this. Now, Slick, we know this. What do we always say about high volume receivers? That doesn't make you always great, but high volume receivers, Slick, also have a higher probability of injuries. And we're not wishing this on anyone.
I'm fucking pouting when they don't get the ball.
Exactly. But God forbid if one of their receivers...
I'll tell you one thing about this kid. He's in Joe Burrow. He's so lucky that he has priors with the two receivers that he has built a relationship with. Because I think if it had been anyone else, there'd be some pouting. You know what I mean? Because you can't feed them all the time. And if you're getting whooped, dude, it's not gonna
exactly.
happen.
And if either one of them miss a significant amount of games, shit. Well, I've already told people if Burrow misses 3 to 4 games, the Bengals are cooked. To be quite honest, Slick, depending on the draft, I don't think the Bengals are going to the playoffs. I honestly think
you could comfortably count them out.
Yeah, because they just look. I'm so sorry, Bengals fans, but you haven't done it. If anything yet, you have all the. They're literally Slick the fucking 05 Bengals. Carson Palmer, Hushmanzada, Chad Ochocinco, all over again. Hell, they don't even have a Chris Henry back.
Someone just said my easy prediction of who's going to make the playoffs from the AFC is going to be the Chiefs. Generally, I think they will. I think the Chargers could scrape in there again, and I think the Broncos will definitely be there. So that's 3 already taken. So now you've got to pick a few. You've got to go for the leaders, right? So the leaders are going to be the Ravens. So I think the Browns will be there as well. They'll scrape in. And I mean, the AFC South, I don't even fucking bother looking at. But the Bills will get there. And whoever wins the AFC South. And don't get me wrong, you'll have teams like the Miami Dolphins knocking on the door for a spot as well. So there'll be a couple of teams knocking on the door. It's just whether Cincinnati's one of them, and I don't think they will.
And I agree with you, Slick. That's why with this shit right here, first things first. I look at this list and
they are a great duo. They really are. But I don't think they're the best duo. I think one sublimely better than the other.
Looks like this is it right here. 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now people will say, "Well, AJ, why is it 4 with them?" Because Addison ain't done shit yet to be on the level of Justin Jefferson. If Justin Jefferson goes out for 6 games, Addison will literally get stopped. Like, come on, Slick. We know this. Ain't nobody scared no Addison. Oh, and let me
I think you've got to look at it, but when you're grading the duos, you're grading as the two, right? And I'm okay with them being good. Who was your 7?
Shit, I said number 1.
Who's the bottom of the draw?
Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith.
Thank you. 100%. 100%. Cooper Kupp is 100%. So fucking overrated. It irritates the shit out of me. The guy's had 2 years. He's had 2 seasons where he's got 1,000 yards. 2 seasons, and he had 1 season where he was. And no one's going to question it. I will be honest. Even I think it was one of the greatest wide receiver seasons of all time. It is one of those that's up there. But it's 1 season. It's 1 fucking season. What has he done since? Nothing. He's injured. He's injured. He's injured.
Team that he did it with.
That's how team that he's with anymore. When a team wants to get rid of you, you've probably lost value. Now, some players can recoup that value, but they're usually guys who want to get out of a team, not a guy that gets dumped by a team.
Right.
So Steve Smith leaving to go to the Ravens was a move for him to go to an organization where he thought he could go and win something, right? Didn't materialize for him, but he did go to a team. I mean, ultimately, the Panthers did have that 1 year where they went to a Super Bowl. Maya House is there to continue.
Right. Now, let's look at it like this. Now, Slick, because this is why the beloved Bucs receiving core is the best. I want you to look at these stats right here because these are beautiful stats. Look at that shit. Now, you want to know something that the Bucs, that all these other receiving core above the Bucs have, Slick, that the Bucs didn't ever have the luxury of? A consistent quarterback.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. So you got Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, that's Peyton Manning.
Yep. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Hope, that's Kurt Warner.
Mark, is that
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, yep. Great Montana. Isaac Bruce and Terry Holt is the one where I'm a bit, I don't know.
Well, that's Kurt Warner. So put it this way. Okay. Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. Now, here's something that's actually more important, Slick. Peep this. I like this. This is where we like to go. Look at this shit. Look at this.
Yeah, man. We're knocking on that door.
We're knocking on that door. We're knocking on that door. Put it this way. By the end of the season, Slick will be number 3. We'll be 4. Well, hell, no, we'll be number 3, actually.
Yeah, I'd say that.
I think Godwin and Evans. Yeah, but see, this is what I'm trying to tell people, Slick.
They'll put up around about 20, maybe just under.
Right, but
it's not more. It's not more.
But what we always say, Slick, we don't give a shit that their performance ain't always sexy. It's if it's effective. How many games did we see sometimes Justin Jefferson's or Jamar Chase's? Prime example, Jamar Chase. His performance is good, but you fucking lost. Well, it ain't my fault. I did my job. No. You still lost because you didn't do your job. Because if it takes for you to get 300 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns to win,
something else is wrong. You know what I mean? Hey, it's all well and good being that dude that gets all the yards. Because Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they've been those guys for a while where they got the yards and they couldn't win, right?
Facts.
You gotta fucking win. That's what mattered. Winning is what matters at the end. And this is the beautiful part of Mike Evans' career and hopefully Chris Godwin's in the future, is that they went through this turmoil of being on a shitty team and they didn't trade places. They didn't go to a Miami Dolphins. They didn't go to the Philadelphia Eagles or whoever. They stayed homegrown. That ring is on their finger is from the team that drafted them. Do you know how fucking cool that is to win a ring? That you had a massive part of that Super Bowl year. And the ring is from the same team that gave you that cap and that jersey on that fucking fateful day where they said, Mr. Godwin, are you ready to become a Buccaneer?
That's right. And here's the thing.
Team gives you your ring.
And suck on that, Eagles fans, because here's another thing, Eagles fans, when they talk all that shit, I'm like, you do realize the 2 most important pieces of your offense you didn't draft, A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. They were somewhere else. Shut your ass up. Well, you had Brady. That's one person. Everybody else is homegrown, baby.
I got no problem with them the way that anyone does win their bowls. It's fine with me. But I just love the fact that we got guys on this team like your Levante Davids, like your Will Golstons, who, you know, I would say the underdogs of the team, because they do a job. They're like legends. They're like cult legends to us. The rest of the league, no one cares about. As someone like a Will Golston, people like Levante David are now getting a lot more credit because of longevity, and people are starting to compare him to other guys who have been around. So, like right now, it's between him and Bobby Wags, right? And people go, "Hang on a minute, Bobby Wags has got all these fucking bullshit, got all this stuff, but his stats are behind. They're behind."
They're behind. And also, again, he just happened to be on the Legion of Boom. It was cool. But we already know the Legion of Boom was not about Bobby Wagner's monkey ass. It was about that secondary. But I want to do something else, Slick, before I wrap this shit up, because we're going to just do the stats. Because I like fucking people's lives up with these stats. Because they go, well, AJ, because I said this and I put a stamp on it, Slick, I said this already. Evans is already top 10 wide receiver of all time. No way. You know who the first receivers they love to bring up, Slick? All right, let's go to Julio Jones. How about
they do?
I love it. How many? Okay, would you say Julio Jones has 80 touchdowns? Would you give him that, Slick? 80 touchdowns at least.
No, I know he hasn't got 80 touchdowns.
How many touchdowns do you think Julio has?
63.
66. Close.
Hey, I'll give myself
so
a valid about that.
Yes.
How many? Here's the question: are you looking at stats right now?
Yep.
You're looking at them right now, right? How many games he played?
Oh man, yeah. He was out for quite a few actually. Shit, I'd have to. I'm gonna go by Julio Jones games missed.
No, the only reason I ask is I'm looking at touchdowns per game.
Yeah.
You know, so if he's got 63, if he's got 63, 66 touchdowns, and he's played in 300 games, that don't look so good.
It doesn't, and you're right. He's missed a shit ton of games. My lord. Okay, so I shut them up on that one, and they were in their feelings about this. Now you know the next one, Antonio Brown. Oh my God, he had the greatest run. Now, when I showed them these stats, peep this. Okay, how many touchdowns do you think Antonio Brown has?
78.
83. Close though. Now, before we go to that, now, mind you, with the Julio, I fucked their world up because they said, "Well, AJ, how many Mike Evans has? 105." Everybody got signed. Oh shit! I'm like, double what he has, and I said AB. Well, AB. I'm like, wait. Now, Slick, because I said this. Mike Evans played with shitty quarterbacks, good for the most part of his career. Then when they bring up AB, I said, "Oh, who was throwing AB the rock?" Silence. Oh yeah, another Hall of Fame quarterback. Oh yeah, he also had Todd Haley as an offensive-minded person. He also had Bruce Arians in them back then. So what are we talking about? So shut them up on that one, because I said, wait a minute, who did he have to go to win a Super Bowl? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm about to really cripple the conversation about the Atlanta Falcons and their golden boy.
Okay.
How many touchdowns did you say he had?
66.
How many games he played in his entire? And this is game played in, not game starts.
What? 100 games or something?
166. That means there were 100 games he did not score a touchdown in.
Damn.
When you say it like that, it's fucking harsh, right? When you actually say it like that, it's like, damn. Woo. I'm gonna have a quick look at Mike. I'm gonna look at our boy Mike. I'd like to do the percentage conversion, but I don't have a calculator with me, and I'm not going to do any of that crazy shit right now. Because it's not going to work. But that would be an interest. I'd say he's probably about 30, 35, maybe 36% of his games he scores a touchdown in. That's just a guess off the top of my head. Let's have a little snoop at our boy Mike and see what he got. Because we know he's going to be putting it up. So he's played in 168 games. There's 105 touchdowns.
Damn.
Here's the crazy part. Do you know how many games he started out of that 168?
130?
167.
My goodness.
One game. Think of how bad that boy's hamstrings have been.
My man,
when he plays, he starts. That just shows you how much lack of talent there they had. he had to be the starter. They had no fucking choice. Like, dude, it's either you or it's fucking done.
Yeah, and that's and I'm glad we're bringing it, because again, was Julio a specimen? Yes, but
the second year was the only year that he didn't play start every game. His second year.
Yeah, his second year. Oh man, look, I love it, because here's another wide receiver. Look, Slick, every time they were throwing wide receivers at the crack of their ass, I was like, all right, let's do this. All right, well, we're about Torrey Holt, Jane. He was that dude. I said, okay, how many touchdowns he has? I know Torrey has 100. No, Torrey Holt has 74. What? Yeah, he has 74. What? And he has 13.
I know that. I will die on this hill. I'll die on this hill, and I'll say this. Mike Evans might not be the greatest wide receiver of all time, and no one's debating that. But I will say this. He is the greatest red zone wide receiver of all time. If not, he'll be behind Randy Moss.
I agree. And I like that we're talking about
behind
this.
One person in history of the game. Who's the second best wide receiver in football? In all of football.
In all of football, it's between T.O. and Moss. That's what they'll say.
Exactly. So to be behind one of those guys in being the red zone threat. Then you got the Mike Evans 1,000-yard streak that he could break this year, and he will hold that streak versus Jerry Rice. So that's yards and touchdowns, not total yards or what have you, because we know Jerry Rice went on to put a stupid amount of yards on the table because the guy just never died. He was jogging over hills and went, "Fuck it, I'll just keep running." I respect the shit out of that, but and I don't think they'll also be.
Yeah. And statistically speaking, if Evans gets like 968 yards, he surpasses Torrey Holt. We know he's going to do that shit. So the people that they love, Torrey Holt, that they love the slurp on, I'm like, he's already got him beat in touchdowns. Oh, well, what about Isaac Bruce? What about Isaac Bruce? I'm glad. Let's bring Isaac Bruce to the table. I like this shit. Well, okay. Isaac Bruce does have him by yards. Cool. How many touchdowns? Isaac Bruce definitely has to have over 191. Close, but no cigar. So Evans has 14 touchdowns more than him already. We know Evans is going to get at least 10 this year. So he's got that beat already. Oh, my God. And now this one took the cake. Andre Johnson. Oh, my God. Andre definitely does it. Okay. Andre Johnson. How many touchdowns do you think? Do you think he has over 80?
I think he had over 80.
Andre Johnson has 70 touchdowns. Yeah, 70. And I'm sorry, we got to go back. We're not trying to shit on Julio, but let's get back to Julio. You don't even have more than Andre Johnson. Andre Johnson. But then this what made it sweeter, Slick. And they talk about, well, you guys always talk about quarterback play. Look at what Andre Johnson had to work with. I said, hey, the simple fact that he didn't get it done even further shows Mike Evans' greatness. No matter who Evans had on his team, he made it happen.
The thing is, I think people look at it like we're shitting on those guys. We're just shitting on them compared to Mike. That's all it is. Me and you aren't going to sit here and say these are bums.
No.
None of those guys mentioned are bums. Most of them will hit the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure about Julio because he never got the ring, and he was one of the elite wide receivers for a bit, and that's that's his niche, right? That's his thing that he can turn around. Mike Evans' thing is, well, I'll have the streak. I'll have one of the most high. I'm going to be within the top 10 because he's already in the top 10. I'm within the top 10, potentially top 5 of all-time touchdowns. I don't know if he'll get top 10 yards because that seems even harder. But that's neither here nor there. He got the streak. He got the ring. What more do you want? He is the age of consistency and scoring, which is last time I checked, you've got to score more points than the other team.
I told somebody,
nobody give a fuck if you got 1,000 yards fucking passing the football. How many touchdowns you get? Oh, I scored 2 touchdowns. How about you? Oh, I threw for 250 yards. How many touchdowns you get? 4.
Right. And they're gonna go, oh, and more than likely you won the game.
You're more clutch. It tells me you're clutch. It tells me that you score when it matters. It tells me that it also tells me you have a good supporting cast around you. And a good defense. But this is the thing, you've still got to score.
And Slick, but when I bring that up as well about a lot of these other receivers that they love to put above, I said you do know they had stability. When Evans came to the Bucs, Slick, the Bucs were ass. We were chaos. The Bucs didn't even know where they were going. You just proved it. Hey, Mike,
can you remember those callbacks of that first year?
Mike Glennon, Josh McCown. Josh McCown. I said, do you guys realize Josh McCown? And it makes it even better. I said, guys, because they were bitching about Andre's quarterbacks. I said, who was better, Matt Schaub or Josh McCown? I thought so. Okay, David Carr or Josh McCown. Okay, I see what your point you're making, AJ. Because then they tried to bring Larry Fitzgerald out their ass. I said Carson Palmer and Kurt Warner. Boom, that's done. Well, Carson Palmer reinvented himself in Arizona because of Bruce Arians. We're not going for that shit. And they look, Slick, they tried this. They tried. What about Steve Smith? Do we need to do that? No. Even everybody else in the chat was like, yeah, we can't do that. Somebody tried to do
He's a high volume receiver that didn't score a lot. He's a high volume receiver that didn't score a lot.
But Slick, one of these days, Slick, I'm going to invite you. Look, you need to create a little TikTok. I'm going to bring you in there. So I want you to give them because you can break it down to X and O's on defenses very well. Because one DB came in there who played the game at a high level. You would have loved talking to him, Slick. He was like, guys, I played DB at the highest level. Who the fuck would want to guard Evans, especially in the red zone? He said Evans is one of the most difficult wide receivers to try and cover.
He presents a very different challenge. Other wide receivers, it's almost like they finesse the shit out of you. Mike Evans is so much more direct. He ain't running no fucking fancy fucking go route. It's his footwork's not going to astound you. You're not going to sit there going, oh my God, he made him miss. His feet's so good. Like he's Chad Johnson. He don't do that. That's not his MO. His MO is run, turn, catch. And I'm jumping higher than you. I'm plucking this ball out of the air. And then you're going to have to jam me in the back to get me down on the floor. Time and time again. Time and time again. You can't stop me. It's coming. See this ball? He's going to throw me the ball now. And I'm going to jump up in the sky. I'm taller than you. I'm bigger than you. And I've got a better vertical than you. I'm taking this ball. And the best thing you can do is limit the amount of damage I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again until I score.
And exactly. And Slick, this is why narratives are important, because when someone talked about his limited tree, I said, okay, where's that energy for Randy Moss? Shook the entire crowd. Randy Moss.
Okay. If he's got a limited tree, then why is he not so like, okay, I always tell my guys this when we're going into game week this week, right?
Right.
And I always do top 3 routes by each wide receiver. So what you are going to expect on defense versus this. This guy runs. He ran while we were scouting him. He ran 50% of his routes were slants. 25% of them were goes. 25% of them were hitches. Okay, so now all I got to do is read to see his hips turn. If his hips turn, it's going to be either a hitch or a slant, I come down hard on it.
Mm-hmm.
If his hips don't turn, he's going to try and go vertical on me. So then I just got to hit the pedal, turn with him, collision him on the way, and lean into him. I'm not saying it's that simple because it's never that simple, but that's the premise, right? If they run a big route tree, so they run comebacks, they run this, they run, all these, like, okay, so he does 5% of this, 10% of that, 18% of this, 5% of this, 12% of this. You'd be like, I don't know what he's going to run. So then he becomes a mystery on game day because you're not sure. You know that because you can ballpark routes. So if someone runs 25, here's the perfect headache for a wide receiver would be he runs 33% to the inbound, he runs 33% deep and 30% outbound, which means he basically runs every way. So how do you defend it? If a guy only runs ins and runs in breaking routes and deep routes, you know what he's going to do. If a guy only runs deep routes, guess what he's going to do? He ain't going to fool you with no shit in the butt. You know what I mean? So by having a limited route tree and a limited what you're supposed to be able to do, you should be easier to defend because being able to read off that should be easier because there's only certain things that you can do. This guy only runs this. Cool. Any day of the week. Now all I got to do is match it. The problem is you can't match it because he's better than you.
Facts, and that's the point. You can't stop it. So I love bringing that up, and right, and that's why but it's the biggest thing is the touchdown situations. Like when they realized how many touchdowns Evans had, that broke their spirit. I said, and mind you, he did that shit in 11 seasons. It didn't take him 14, 15, 11. I'm like, and all the people that they were glazing, Slick, bless their hearts, they thought that they were in the hundreds. That Julio shit really hurt people's souls. I was like,
I think sometimes you got to, because you think he would, because he was that name. He was that big name guy, same as Julio Jones. He was one of those guys that Julio Jones and Brown. They were two guys that everyone spoke about. There was always a guy in and out. I think sometimes it was Larry Fitz, sometimes it was Hopkins or what have you. Hopkins is the dude in yards. Adams has slowly become, I would say, the biggest rival to Mike Evans is probably Adams because they're so close in both levels. Like, they're not that far away in yards and touchdowns. Their competitive mark is right down the T. They're very different wide receivers, and one had the upbringing of being in Green Bay with a perennial fucking all-star, superstar, Hall of Fame, and anyone who thinks Aaron Rodgers isn't going to Hall of Fame is deluded. He will go to the Hall of Fame. You don't have that many MVPs, even though he has the one ring. The guy was just elite for his time. He just couldn't get the job done when it counted. That was the only knock on. The only knock on him is, just like his counterpart in Brett Favre, he couldn't get it done when the lights were on. He got the one.
Yep.
Got the one when he was underrated.
Yep.
They got them early, didn't they? They got those rings early. They didn't get them later in their careers. They got them early where they exploded onto the scene and everyone's like, this guy's fucking legit.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone kind of wised up and then they became perennial chokers.
Exactly. So this is why I love these debates, Slick, because once you bring in the stats and you show them that it hurt, it makes them go, oh shit. But like we said, that's where narratives come in. I said, yes, you were going to recognize Julio more because he was on a popular team. They were popular players and the team was good. The Bucs were ass during Julio Jones's prime years. So he didn't get the recognition. It took a Brady for people to go, oh, Mike Evans is that dude. Oh, and then they go back and look at the stats. Oh, he always was that guy. But again, the Julio thing fucked them up, Slick, because they were like 66 touchdowns. That's it. I was like, yeah, this is what happens when you glaze yards more than touchdowns. When you glaze yards more than touchdowns, Slick, that's when I tell people you like to be entertained instead of winning. I don't give a shit if you're boring, but if you get me wins, that's what matters. Evans is not the guy that you expect. He's not going to give you a consistent 170-yard games, but he'll give you that consistent 70 to 90 and the consistent 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, those 2 touchdowns won the game. So on that note, Slick, I'm going to roll out on this one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on Bucs Report, the aftermath on 102.9 Game Broad Street South Radio. Continue to check us out again. Slick will be bringing out that mock draft. Check out my mock draft on YouTube. It's about bucking time. But as always, Slick, take care of yourself. Go Bucs. And I'll see you next week, my brother. Be easy, man.
That's it, big brother. Okay, guys, that's the end of the show. Appreciate everyone sticking through us. It sometimes gets a little bit out there sometimes, and I appreciate that everyone hanging on. Always remember, if you want to be a part of the show, want to come in and have a chat with us, more than welcome. Just hit yourselves up in the chat, and we'll see if we can get you a link, get you in, say your piece. This is like football therapy for Buccaneers fans, and we are on the precipice of an NFL draft that could very much shape the future of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. And I'm super excited about it. My mock draft will be out by Friday, potentially Saturday at the latest. And peruse that at your best. I'm not going to turn around and say this dude's the best cat in the world. I'm just going to look it up. What we need, I'm a best available dude. Best available for the positions I need. Not just best available. Best available for the position I need. Because I've done best available before. Just as a test. I did it with 5 running backs. Best available was a running back every single fucking time. It was hard work. It was a hard time. But on that note, guys, I appreciate everyone sticking through with me. My teams, we're in our last preseason game before we hit our season fit, and we will be ready to rock and roll in Division 1 and see what capers and trouble we can cause. But on that note, guys, I appreciate everyone sticking by us and enjoying what the content that we're putting out. And thank you to all the guests that jumped in, the dude, and my bro host with the most, AJ Turner, my guy. I will see you all guys next Wednesday when we get this thing right. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!